Welcome, welcome. Hopefully my microphone is working today. We are doing a live here today. I'm going to be making some more of these slides. I actually started making some of them yesterday, but we're going to work on them today. I'm going to show you how I'm making these. Happy Thursday, friends. It is kind of cloudy here in Southwest Florida. When you hop in, say hello so that I know that all of my comments are turned on and that my sound is okay. All right, so we're going to get started here in just a minute. I just want to double check and make sure everything's good before I get chatting and for some reason something isn't working right. How's everybody's week going? For some reason, this week has flown by so fast. It has flown by. I think my sound is on today. I hope my sound is on. Can somebody just say hello and let me know that the sound is okay? I have been working out this new microphone, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully it's working today. I'm hoping it is. So if you could just let me know if you can hear okay. All right. Let me... All right, so... Okay, it's saying that it's reconnected. Hopefully that's good. I hate technical difficulties. I hate it. I don't understand why I have them so often. Hopefully we're back. Might need to just refresh here. I think we're back. I think we are. I hate technical difficulties. You'd think in this day and age things would be so simple, but that's not the case. Let's just double check and make sure. Let's see. Are we back live? Hopefully we are. Hello, hello, welcome in. Trying to get through these bugs here this morning. I think we're back live. I'm pretty sure we're good. Hopefully. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if it's on my end or if it's the streaming service that I use. I have no idea what it is. It drives me nuts. If it's not the microphone, it's it's like, I don't know. I get glitchy and I have great internet here, but for some reason it gets glitchy. So good morning. Welcome in. Okay, I'm glad that I can see your comments and stuff now. Welcome in. Hello from RV2 Crafts. Hello, Janice. Welcome, welcome everybody. Yeah, I use a streaming service. I use Streamlabs, and Streamlabs is supposed to be really good. That's what a lot of live streamers use, but for some reason I have issues with it. I don't understand why. It's very odd. Sometimes it works good and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. And I know they just updated my internet service like in our area. They redid all of like the lines and stuff for internet connection. And so we should have good internet in our area, but I don't know. Anyhow, let's get started. We had a little hiccup here this morning, but let's get started. So if you guys follow me over on TikTok, I showed these a little bit on TikTok. I had started them yesterday. I got busy with the rest of the stuff I was doing yesterday. I was so busy. Really quickly, before we get started with this whole thing, I want to mention that I have one more Snow White kit that is available over on my Patreon for my Wicked Cool Crafters for this month. So I have one more available for this coming month. After that, when you order, if you become a member, and that is the $21 a month membership, after that, it will be a different kit. So I have one more Snow White kit. I've had a lot of people asking me about it. This has been a really popular kit that I've done. And so I wanted to make sure that I had enough supplies to finish, what I had. And I have one more available. So yes, so I did this kind of over on TikTok. I did a little bit over on TikTok yesterday, but I wanted to do a full video and post it to YouTube. And I actually started filming a video yesterday, but then I had other things going on. So I stopped filming and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do a live today and we'll kind of do it together during the live. So if you want to join the Patreon for the Snow White for this month, I have one spot left. The link is in the bio below. You can click the link and it will bring you right to my Patreon. It is the Wicked Cool Crafters tiered membership level. So it's the $21 membership level. But these are the kits that are going out this month. So this is the kit. I also have a fun little charm pin that's going with it. Right here, I did these cute little charm pins, and then I did little laminated cards, and all kinds of fun stuff is going with this. So this is going out for this month's Patreon members, and I have one more available. After this, it will be a new kit for next month. Okay, so we're gonna make these little slides. I have thrifted a ton of these little slides, and I've been in the process of cleaning up my craft area because we're going to start finishing up my new craft room, my craft studio. So I'm going to be like moving all of my stuff. So I've been kind of going through supplies that I have, and I have all of these little color slides. And so I wanted to do something with these vintage color slides. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things. I'm going to be putting some kits together for sale and selling some of these so that you guys can buy them and do your own if you can't find them anywhere. But I'm also going to be doing a digital with some of these. So if you want to get the digital, you can print the digital out and have a digital and make them on your own with a digital. Also, this is the digital that I created. This is going to be a freebie over on my Patreon for my Patreon members. This is a freebie for this month. I created these little tile blocks out of some Storybook pages. I have a bunch of, since my theme is Disney crazy this month, but for some reason I've been doing a lot of Snow White because I have a lot of Snow White stuff. So I've been using a lot of these Disney pages because I did a new journal. And so I made some of these little tiles, and they're 1.5 inch tiles, and they're perfect to go in these little slides. So this paper right here is a digital that is going to be linked below. It's in my Patreon for this month's Patreon freebie. And this is for any Patreon member. It's not just the tiered membership levels, it's for any member. So it's for the free members as well. It's a freebie for this month. So if you go over, join my Patreon, link is in the bio or link is down below. You can go to this live stream, and this link is attached to that live stream in my Patreon. Or I should say it's attached to the video in my Patreon. So you'll be able to print this out. So what I did was, they're duplicates. They're not all different. There's 10 different images, and then I just duplicated them 3 times. So that's what I'm going to be using. I've already done some of them. I already printed out one sheet and done some of them. But I'm going to show you exactly how I do this whole process. So we're just actually going to fussy cut these out. I'm only going to do 1 strip for right now. And for the time's sake, I don't want to sit here and fussy cut all of these in front of you guys today. So for time's sake, I'm just going to do 1 strip, but I wanted to show you like a full kind of tutorial on how I did them. I also have my laminating machine here. I have my Amazon Basics laminating machine. And I linked this in the description below as well. I think it's like $45. It's very small and compact. I use this thing all the time. So if you want to get one of these, click the link in the description below. I use this for so many different crafts. So I'm actually going to turn this on and let this start to warm up. I'm using the 3 mil sheets of the laminating sheets, the 3 mil, which are these ones right here. I linked these in the description of the video as well. You can get these on Amazon also, so you can click that link to grab these also. And again, it says right on the front 3 mil, so you know that you're setting your setting to the right one. All right, so what I am doing is I am cutting out all of these little tiles. And they're just little 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares. So I actually did this with like a cutter. It's easier with a cutter, but if you don't have a cutter, I'm just showing you that you can just do these with scissors as well. You don't have to use these squares either. You can use your whatever images you can find. You can get book pages, cut out little images in book pages and little squares. You know, you can use whatever you can find. But I am just using the little squares right now. All right, so I'm getting all of these just cut out really quick. I'm not going to do this whole thing, like I said. This is what you get in the digital. I'm just going to use a few of these just to kind of get you caught up to where I'm at with what I was doing yesterday. So again, we're just cutting these little squares out like this. These are all little Storybook squares. The one nice thing about the digital is that I cleaned up the images. So a lot of these are from vintage books, and the images are somewhat faded because the printing wasn't all that great. So I cleaned a lot of the images up and, you know, made them a little sharper and crisper and brighter so that you can see them better. So when you print the digital, it should print out nice and crisp. All right, so again, we're just cutting all of these up. All right, so now I have all these little tiles. And now I'm going to take a sheet of my laminator, my laminating pouches. So for this, I'm not using a whole sheet. This is what the sheets look like though. They're actually like a little pocket that opens up. So you have like a bottom and a top. I don't think it matters which way. They're both the same, but the inside is almost like a frosted. It looks frosted. I'm actually, because I'm only doing a small little amount here, I'm not going to do this whole sheet. I'm going to save it. I'm just going to cut this in half. All right. And then you can save this and use this for another time. Okay, so I have my little laminator sheet here. I'm just opening it up, and we're going to put our little images in the laminating sheet. So I'm just setting them in here. I'm spacing them out probably about an inch or so between each image. You can see I got about an inch in between them. And then I'm closing it up. And then I'm going to run them through my laminating machine. Now, when the machine has a green little check mark, you know that it's ready to run it through. So you just take the edge of your sheet that's sealed, and there's all your images in there, and you're just going to run it through. You're just going to stick it in there. There's a roller on the inside that will roll it through, and it rolls it and presses it and heats it, and that's what, you know, seals it up. So it will go right through, come out the other side. So you can see. And what I like about this is that the paper looks kind of frosted when you first do them, but then as they come out, they're nice and crisp and bright like that. So that's what they look like when they come out. So again, I'm just going to shut this off now. I'll set this aside, but I wanted to show you that process and how easy it is, because it's not hard at all. So once you get them like this, then you can start to cut them out. Now, the thing with cutting them out for this project is I want to leave like a little frame around each one of the images. Hold on one second. Okay, I want to leave like a little frame around the images. So when I cut them, I'll show you that. I'm not cutting them right tight to the edge. I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch frame on the sides. And I'm doing that because that's where I'm going to apply the glue to attach the glue to the slide. All right, so I have these little images now that are laminated, and they have like a little frame, a plastic frame around them. That's just where we're going to put the glue to attach them to the slide like that. All right. So that's kind of where I'm at with all of these. I've done a whole bunch of them already. And so we'll keep that aside. I'll do these later. Just so you know that, you know, when you're doing these, just leave a little bit of an edge so that you can put your glue. Like that. All right, now let's work on the slides. Let me show you some things about these slides. Now, some of these slides, this is what they look like when you get them. I have a bunch of different ones here. There's different sizes and shapes, but they're all generally the same size. So for instance, these ones right here, you can see that the slide is on the inside. A lot of them, you can actually just push the slide right through and it comes out just like that. So most of them you can do that. Sometimes they're glued in, but most of them they just push right out. You can save the slides if you have any of these. You can save these and use them as ephemera or whatever in journals, or use them for something else. The images on here are actually of some family that I have no idea because I thrifted these. So, but that's all you do is you push the little slide right out just to expose the slide frame like this, because this is what we're going to be using. So all these little slides are just being pushed out. And then let me show you. So if they don't push out easily, so this one, for instance, is a little different. This one pushes out, but it's more of a square shaped as opposed to a rectangular shape. But the same thing, it just pushes out fairly easily. If it does not push out, because some of them don't push out, like some of them are like almost glued to the inside. If it does not push out, what you can do is you can grab hold on, where did I put my, oh, right here. You can grab a little cutting board and a little craft knife like this one right here, and you can go ahead and just cut around that frame on the inside where the slide is. You can cut around it, and then when you cut around it, then you can just pop that little frame right out. All right, this one obviously popped out as well. Most of them pop right out, but if for some reason it doesn't pop out, you can cut on the inside of the frame. So that's all I did for these. I just cut them all out, or not cut them out, I just popped them all out so I have these open frames just like this. Now you can use these just as is, and you can take one of your images like this one right here. You can use Fabrifix glue for these. The Fabrifix glue works pretty well, and all you need to do is on the front, if you face your image upright, on that little plastic, that frame that we kind of kept, that's where you're going to put your glue. So you just kind of make a little frame of glue around your image like that. Make sure it's facing upward, and then you're just going to apply that to your opening of your slide, just like that. Right, and then just make sure it's pushed down good. So it's as easy as doing something like this, and then you can use these, say, in your journal, on one of your journal pages. So for instance, I haven't even started decorating anything in this journal yet, but I wanted to just kind of show you if I was going to use these. They don't have to have a finished back. You can just glue them down to your page. You could glue a bunch of them down in random spots on your journal page like this. So you could do something as simple as that, which is very easy. You can also do something else. You can do kind of like a double-sided image, which I did right here. And I turned this one into a charm. And basically all I did was I glued two of them together, one facing one way and one facing the other way. So you can definitely do something like that. You would just glue two together. So you'll make one. Now there's like a few different ways that you can do this. And I've kind of had to play around with it a little bit to see what works the best, because they do get thick. That's the problem with gluing two together, is they don't, it takes a little while for the glue to dry, and you can't use them right away. You've got to kind of like press them in between a book to hold them together. But if you just glue the image like this. Yes, these are super cute, aren't they? They're super cute. Yeah, so you can just glue your images back to back like this. And again, I'm just using my Fabrifix glue. So you just glue them back to back, make sure they're both going the right way. But like I mentioned, what I did for these is I have these little clips. I just held them together with the little clips until the glue dries, because it is thicker. So it takes a little bit of, it takes a little bit of time for the glue to dry on this technique right here. And then you can have like a thick charm. And what I did with these is I punched a hole. Now, mind you, I have a little bit better of a trick for doing these in just a moment. I'm going to show you that. But what I did with these is I took my hole punch and I punched a hole through the top, or through the top of it, and put a little, one of these. I never can remember what these are called. I put one of these in and made it a charm like that. So you can definitely do something like this. But after playing around with it a little bit, there's a different way that you can do these, which I found is a little bit easier because it's not so thick. So the one thing that I kind of decided to do ahead of time was before I glue them together, I punched a hole in them. So this is just one. This is just one. As you can see, I just did one. And because it's so thick, it's very hard to punch those holes. So it was easier, it's easier to punch a hole on a single one. So what I did was I just put them back to back like this. I punched one side first, punch one hole on one side, eyelets, thank you. I never can remember what they're called, eyelets. Yes. And then you can see where I punched that hole. Then I just went and punched another hole through the other one. So now it was much easier to punch a hole like that as opposed to trying to punch it through two at the same time. So punch one on one side, put them back to back, use that as kind of a guide to punch your second hole, and then punch your second hole, and then you can glue them together and kind of hold them together. And then you can put your eyelet in there and press your eyelet in there and make like a charm. All right, so that's another way you can do these. Now I found it an even better way to do them, even easier than this, and it actually saves your slides. So if you don't have very many slides and if you want to do multiple charms, you only need one slide for this next kind of technique, and that is to pull the slide apart. Now these slides actually, because they are sandwiching, or these slide covers, because they're sandwiching a slide, they will actually come apart pretty easily. So if you take a craft knife, and I actually stuck my craft knife kind of in between where they're sandwiched apart, and just kind of opened it up on the outside, like you can see right here, and then kind of go back in with your craft knife. Be careful when you're doing this that you don't cut yourself. Go back in and then kind of just use your craft knife to pry those two pieces apart. Kind of cut them apart, because there are two pieces per slide. You just need to open them up because I think they're like glued together. I think when they do these, they have like a glue or something. I think they're like this, and they put the slide in and then it's glued together like that. But there are two pieces to it. So for one slide, you can actually do a double-sided image if you cut it apart. So here's another image. So we're doing just like we did before. We're going to glue. Let's see, do I have... We're going to glue our image to our front cover. Like this. So there's our front cover. What I've been doing too is when I glue these, just to have them set, I stick something heavy on top of them just until they set. And then I'll do my other one on my back cover. Make sure it's going the right way. Like that. And then I'll take and set something heavy on it and let that sit there for just a second. Now, because it's not as thick as a whole one, we'll be able to glue these together easily. Take a little bit more glue and just glue these back to back together. So this is a way to get more use out of the slides if you only have a few of them, if you don't have a whole bunch like I have. It's still thick enough for a charm, definitely. You can still definitely do a charm with these. But it's not as thick as gluing two together. So that's another kind of good technique to doing these. And again, you can do this with anything. You can cut out images from a magazine. You can, you know, this is just such an easy craft to do. I'm just going to take these little clips and clip this together for a minute here. Let that sit. Like that. And then once that's together, then what we'll do is we'll put some eyelets in and make some charms out of these. So like I said, this is just a super easy craft to do. And if you are just hopping on here and watching this while we are live here, you can get these digitals as a freebie over on my Patreon. Just become just a regular member, and you can get the digitals for these little tiles that I did. Just as soon as I know that these are glued down, I'm going to punch a hole in these and we can put an eyelet in. Now, the one thing I found, I don't know if anybody else has this issue. I have this eyelet press right here. And for some reason, I ordered this one on Amazon. It was just a cheap one. For some reason, the hole opening is smaller than these eyelets that I bought. So I've been actually using just my regular hole punch to punch a hole, and then I'll use the press to press the eyelet together. Now you can also decorate these up. If you want to decorate these and add some other, you know, add ribbon or add buttons or anything to these, you definitely could do that as well. I did some of these, something similar to this. I did, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, definitely go use those digitals. I did something similar to this over Christmas time, and I decorated them up for Christmas. I did the little eyelet at the top. So as you can see, you can just, when you're using a single slide and cutting it in half, it's much easier to punch the hole through the single slides. Now, I might be lying. It was easier. Why am I not able to punch this one? I can't punch this one. All right, well, let's use this one. Let's use this one to get it started. There. We'll get it started with that one. There's my press. It's definitely really hard to punch it through a double. I punched a bunch of singles, no problem with my paper punch. But all right, so if you want to use your press like this one, because this one does, it is a little bit stronger. It will punch through like a heavier surface. If the hole isn't quite big enough, then what you can do is you can just take your awl, and I have my awl here somewhere. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Oh boy. I literally just had my awl. Well, here's my old one. I'll just use this one. You can take your awl and just push it through that hole and kind of just open that hole up a little bit more. So that way you can get your eyelets in there. Yes, absolutely. Yep, for sure. So there you go. You can punch or you can put your little eyelet in there. The eyelets actually fit better in the single as opposed to the double. I don't even put my backing on for a single. You do have to put a backing on if you're doing a double, but for the single, I don't even put a backing on. All right, so there's my little eyelet right there. And now we have our little charm. What I did for the other one was I took a couple, hold on, where are they? Right here. I took a couple little jump rings and some pliers, and I made, get a couple jump rings here. I just opened up my jump rings and I used the jump rings to kind of give me a little extension so that the charm is easier to attach to other things. So again, these are just little, I don't know what these are. These are like 1/2 centimeter, maybe a little bigger than a 1/2 centimeter. What is this? 1/4 inch. They're 1/4 inch jump rings that I'm using. So I just did 2. I did 2 little jump rings. I just attached them together. That way it gave me something else to attach this to. So that way if I wanted to attach it to a paper clip, or if I wanted to attach it to a bulb pin or anything else really. I have these vintage baby diaper pins, which would be kind of cute if you attached this. Actually, what you could do as well is you could take this jump ring, the second jump ring that you have here, and attach it to the circular portion of your pin. Like that. So that way you have a little safety pin that these are attached to, a little charm. So you could attach this to some fabric, you could attach it to something else. But the jump rings are great to use to like give it some separation. So you're not just putting it right on the pin itself. But you could do this with a paper clip. You could do this with, there's so many different things you could do this with. And again, you could do hidden paper clips with this. Let me grab, a big paper clip here, if I can find one. Where did my paper clips go? Oh, right here. Oh, those are safety pins. Paper clips. There's a paper clip. You could take some ribbon. I'm sure I have some ribbon around here that I can use. So you could take a little bit of ribbon. This is something that I do a lot of. I will put my ribbon through the end of my paper clip, and I'll pull the tails through the loop to make a little, oh boy. I think my piece of ribbon is a little too small here, but you got the idea. So there's my ribbon tails on the end of a paper clip like that. Obviously you can clean these up a little bit if you want them nice and clean and not jagged like this one. Okay, so now I have a cute little paper clip. Now I can take one of my slides. Let's see which one I want to do. Let's use this one right here. Here's one of my slides. Oh, goodbye. Have a good day. Take one of my little slides with the jump rings attached to it, and then attach that jump ring to my paper clip, and then close it up. And then just tighten up that little ribbon on the end. That way it will keep this dangle or this charm from, you know, falling off or whatever. You know what else I could put on here, which would be really cute, because we can add something to this. Let's add another little charm dangle to it. I have these cute little apples. And you could use any kind of a charm, but I have these cute little charm apples. So I'll take another little jump ring that I have here, and I will add my apple. And then I will add that right to my other jump ring on my little paper clip and close that up. So now I have a cute little dangle charm on a paper clip. So that is super cute as well. You could definitely do something like that. All right, so that's pretty much it for these. Again, you can get really creative with them. They're not hard. It's a very easy project to do. Like I had mentioned, go and get the digital. The digital freebie is over in my Patreon. The Patreon is linked in the description below. You can print out the digital tiles so that way that you can make these at home with your own. If you want to do a Snow White theme, you can make these at home with your own little slide covers like this one. Or I'm also going to be doing a digital with a bunch of different slide covers. So if you don't have these at home, I will have a digital for these. I will link that eventually in the description of this video when it posts, if you watch the replay of this. So you'll be able to get those. I'm going to actually make these available to, these won't be a freebie. These will be available to my tiered membership people over on Patreon. So you'll be able to get the slides. You can get the slides and the digitals and make these just from cardstock at home. All right. So again, this is kind of a short little live today, but actually we are 50 minutes in, so it's not as short as I thought it was. I hope you guys enjoyed this